Before our very eyes, a financial revolution is taking place. Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, has formally announced the cancellation of the company's long-awaited IPO, a startling decision that has shocked Wall Street and excited the XRP community. However, what's replacing it is perhaps more disruptive and revolutionary. The initial stake offering, or ISO, is a completely new concept that Ripple is switching to. This is a radical rejection of the traditional financial gatekeepers, not just a change in the way businesses go public. Instead than selling Ripple shares to hedge funds and investment banks, the business will tokenize half of its corporate equity and distribute it to XRP holders directly. Yes, you are going to become a stakeholder in Ripple itself if you currently own XRP. Crypto insiders are already referring to it as the most aggressive wealth transfer in financial history, despite the fact that the mainstream media has only just started to comprehend the implications of Brad Garlinghouse's revelation during a much-anticipated broadcast. Garlinghouse was clear in the interview. If the XRP community has been our foundation from the beginning, why should we give Wall Street $500 million in underwriting fees? Not the bankers who bet against us, but they deserve a share in the future we're creating. This choice was made to reward the community directly, avoiding the typical IPO funnel that frequently excludes retail investors until after the big money is earned, according to the CEO in subtitled snippets that are currently making the rounds on social media. You see, this is about ideology as much as equity. By putting a flag in the sand, Ripple is indicating that it can now grow without traditional finance's sanction. Ripple is selecting its community, a global army of XRP holders who believed when few others did, rather than bowing down to Wall Street's legacy institutions. The centralization, exclusivity, and financial elitism that characterize the traditional system are completely rejected by the ISO. And the timing couldn't be more crucial. Traditional corporate equity can now operate on decentralized rails thanks to the boom in tokenized real-world assets, or RWAs. The first significant corporate interest made available in this manner to the general public rather than venture investors will be Ripple's ISO. How will it operate then? Internal documents from Ripple, which have been released online after being secretly discussed with a few partners, state that the business intends to issue a set number of equity tokens, each of which is worth one share, equivalent unit of Ripple stock. In accordance with the snapshot plan for next week, these coins will be allocated proportionately among XRP holders. The mechanics are simple. Possess XRP in a wallet that is compatible at the moment of the snapshot, and your allotted number of Ripple equity tokens will be given to you. Like traditional shareholders, these tokens will have voting, dividend, and governance rights in addition to representing a symbolic ownership. This signifies a significant change in the value proposition for holders of XRP. XRP will be more than just a utility token that makes cross-border payments possible in real time. As a result, it will become a hybrid asset, essentially fusing the income and capital growth potential of stock with the usefulness of a currency. To be honest, the dual nature of XRP renders all of our previous pricing models quite outdated. Analysts are currently rushing to determine the fair value of XRP after ISO, and some are even speculating that XRP prices might rise into the triple or even quadruple digits if you mix the stock worth of Ripple with the usefulness of XRPL. Let's take a moment to dissect that. If 50% of Ripple's equity is tokenized and given to XRP holders and the company is worth $100 billion, then the community is essentially receiving an airdrop of $50 billion. According to the supply currently in circulation, that amounts to about $1 for each XRP held, and that only represents the equity worth. Let's now consider the potential deflationary impact on the XRP market as consumers lock up tokens for governance, long-term staking, or potentially future access to financial services built on Ripple. To be honest, devaluation is quite likely due to the decreased supply and the skyrocketing demand for access to Ripple's corporate upside. Here, we are discussing the entry of XRP into a completely new asset class, not only small increases, there's more though. According to Ripple, these equity tokens will be issued in accordance with the legal framework of tokenized securities as specified in recent US and EU laws, and they will be entirely compliant. The Financial Innovation and Technology for the 21st Century Act, which specifically permits businesses to issue security tokens directly to the public under regulatory supervision circumventing the antiquated IPO rules, provided additional clarity that prompted the action. Thus, the rest of the cryptocurrency business should take note of this trend as well. Ripple is changing the rules, while other initiatives continue to work with banks or seek ETF certification. A new generation of decentralized stock markets where community ownership isn't just a catchphrase, but rather a reality is made possible by the ISO model. Consider what would have happened if Coinbase or Consensus had started out this way. What if equities had been tokenized by the Ethereum Foundation in 2015? Ripple is demonstrating what it looks like when a Web3 native business gives back to its supporters, rather than just those that arrived after success was assured. This has significant governance implications as well. Now that XRP holders own stock, on-chain governance votes may be used to decide future strategic choices for Ripple, such as collaborations, acquisitions, and network expansion. Thus, This is the start of a decentralized corporate structure in which all shareholders have a vote and decisions are now documented on open ledgers rather than behind closed doors. If this is successful, it might lead to a flurry of ISO launches from other top blockchain companies. However, there is currently a very important thing that all XRP holders need to do. Verify that the wallet where your tokens are kept is secure, self-maintained, and compatible with ISO snapshots. Missing this moment might truly mean losing out on a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and exchanges may not respect the airdrop. Although Ripple has released an initial list of wallets and exchanges that are supported, direct custody is always the safest choice. Don't let someone else decide your portion of the destiny of Ripple. This is your prize if you have been holding XRP through all the highs and lows, lawsuits, FUD delistings, and, well, disinformation of all kinds. However, just if you're ready, this marks a sea change for XRP, for Ripple, and for cryptocurrency in general. The ISO is a statement that the community matters and that decentralization is not only technical but also financial, and it goes beyond simply being a new financing model. Holders, builders, and believers will determine the direction of finance, not JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs. Ripple has made a decision. It has also selected you. From here, where do we go? We have 7 crucial days. Finalization of the ISO token standard is underway. The deployment of snapshot tooling is underway. Publication of governance documentation is underway. And in anticipation of what may well be the biggest wealth event in the history of digital finance, XRP holders worldwide are transferring their holdings to private wallets. Prepare yourself if you aren't already. The ISO will alter everything, and the countdown has started. Disclaimer. Please keep in mind that I do not hold a financial advisor license. You see, the only goal of the content in these videos is to amuse viewers. Before making any financial decisions, I always advise viewers to do their own research and speak with experts. Many thanks for listening. Please remember to hit the subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. Additionally, to be the first to know when I post new stuff, make sure you enable the alerts. I can't wait to see you again in the next video. Be careful.